Hello and welcome to the channel. It's the Eradicator, and so today we are going to keep up with Star Citizen of 3.18, which is still in Evocati PTU, unfortunately. But yeah, they're still working hard on that. They're still making some great progress, and the Evocatis have been given a brand new tool that is going to allow them to reset their character in a more convenient fashion, at least. And that comes with a brand new repair tool on the website, which is going to replace the old reset option, which is something that might be very useful if you are stuck in the game because of a bug, or because you cannot have access to your ship anymore, or your character is missing their head. Perhaps these things happen from time to time, right? Well, in the past we had to reset our character, and we would basically lose all of our progress except for the money that we have accumulated. This is going to bring in some improvements and convenience in case such situations happen again. So, how does it work here? It says that the repair tool is replacing the old reset option on the site. Once the repair is complete, the following will happen. So your playing avatar will be recreated, so you'll be losing the character that you would have before. Your spawn point will reset. You'll have to choose your starting location. You will need to re-customize your character, so that might take a little bit of time if that is something that you care about. And however, your inventories, items, currencies, and mission progress will persist, and that is the wonderful news here. So hopefully this is going to be making the life of players a little bit less frustrating when these situations do happen. Now, we still have more builds here in the Evocati PTU. This is Star Citizen of 3.18.0G. And not much is being added here. The testing focus here is going to show here how how player entities are being stowed across different shards, and they want to see if, for example, players can be unstowed once they log out. So maybe sometimes it may also take a long time for players to go back into the verse. That's apparently what they are testing right now. They're still testing the physicalized cargo refactor, salvage, hull scrape. By the way, did you see physicalized cargo refactor? That is the new name of cargo refactor. They've added physicalized to make it a little bit clearer. Yeah, I see that here. The platform assault on Horizon, security post carrier reactivation, courier delivery mission update, sandbox prison activity, sand caves, Daymar crash site, standard racetrack location, the Craycat PTV racetrack, and the new rivers as well. And here it seems that for the time trials, they've also improved time trial checkpoint tracking for low server frame rates, and they've also done they've also maybe polished the rewards for these kind of missions too. Also, the prison activities have had some polish here. They've updated the shop values for contraband kiosks to be set to buy, and they also changed prisoner loot values. They've updated the rewards for the oxygen repair kiosks mission, and they've also updated the contraband kiosk setup. They've also increased shield down delay from 5 to 10 seconds, so that means it's going to take a little bit longer for your ships and vehicles to have more shields and more optimizations for Gen 12. Now, they've also updated the speed of the ground vehicles in yesterday's build as well. It's something that I did not talk about. I was busy talking about the new French studio, but in case you were wondering what other works they've done on ground vehicles have had a little bit of extra speed as well, based on the feedback that was given when they actually significantly decreased the speed of ground vehicles in the 3.17 builds. Now, when it comes to known issues, we haven't talked about the known issues yet that much, but let's have a look at some of the things here that still need to be done for 3.18. And speaking of the character customizer here, apparently we get stuck on saving character on the front end menu for after we join the PU for the first time. When it comes to persistent entity streaming here, characters are not properly stowed after logout, and sometimes they're able to be observed while not logged in by other accounts. When it comes to multi-vehicle here, vehicles, ship components, and UI are unable to customize any ships within the vehicle loadout manager. When it comes now to locations here, more than one player can load into a habitat bed at the same time. That's not really a big deal. I think it's fun. But yeah, it's those habits are supposed to be individual, so they need to fix that. But I don't think that's really a game breaker. breaker here. What is perhaps a game breaker are still the jittery elevators and trams, which can be quite annoying, and I can imagine that this could perhaps cause some epilepsy, or maybe feel people make people feel a little bit dizzy. So yeah, they will want to be fixing that. Derelict here, there are some of the salvage wrecks are missing, unfortunately. Now I have no idea about what the frequency of those derelict wrecks are going to be, because I don't think it's going to be very realistic if we have as many wrecks as we have mineable asteroids in the verse, right? It would be very weird that there are so many wrecks out there. But at the same time, we need to have content, gameplay to give to people who do have those salvage ships. So it would be very interesting to see what kind of balance the developers are going to find. Now let's talk about vehicle HUD. It's possible for vehicle HUD to vanish for the player during flight and combat. That is a bug that's happening sometimes in 3.17.4, and I'm glad that they are trying their best to fix it in 3.18. Standard interactions here, terminals are not responsive and some are not resetting. Very unfortunate, and that needs to be fixed also, obviously, in Evo Caddy. Third-person camera, there's a massive stutter when using external view and F4 view for the first time. The Corsair also does not respond to either expand configuration or retract configuration bindings. So it works in 3.17.4, but in 3.18 it doesn't work. It could be due to the persistent HD streaming coding, which has been redone. When it comes to Horizon now, mission content locations here, a hostile AI is stuck inside a wall, and one hostile appears missing also for the bounty assignment Neil Garrison mission. So it kind of feels like the 890 jump mission, where sometimes one of the NPCs is missing or spawns outside of the ship and is not interactable. I hope that they fix that as well, because when we do the 890 jump mission and one of those NPCs is just not working, it's very annoying. Inventory and loot boxes here. Loot boxes will disappear on approach after opening. So there we have it. That is what's missing here for 3.18, what they still need to be working on when it comes to bug fixes, at least their priority. I think that they'll be able to make it. It's not really that much of a big deal here, just a couple of issues with jittering traps, which they've had since the very beginning of the A patch. So maybe it's difficult to fix, I guess that we'll see, but I'm still quite confident that we could see a wave 1 for next week with a possible release just before Christmas. Still possible. It's still possible. Anyway, guys, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching as always, and a big shout out to my Patreons, including also Dr. Fobbing, Captain Snake, Wolfpack Pug, and Dio Crusher. It's been the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.